This is the Jim Norton Show.
The beginning of yet another helpful program. I'm just answering some very hateful tweets. On Twitter, I tweeted out that my advice show is starting, and I got a new cough button. See, that's the old Jim Norton. Here it is while someone's talking. So, Jim, I have a problem. Oh, hold on, caller. Can you hear that I just coughed? No, you can't. Because Wiki very proudly presented me with a cough button today. I wouldn't say proudly presented it to me. He had something in his arm. He was carrying a package. And he said, I put it down the front of my pants. So I went down there and I got it out. I proudly got it out. And I tweeted this, that I have a new cough button. And Anthony Cumia very cruelly tweeted, can you hold it down for an hour? But that would be impossible because then no one would be able to hear me. So my advice show, if I were to do that, would just be silent for an hour. Which I'm sure Ant didn't mean that, because what he's saying is that an hour of silence is better than hearing me. And that couldn't be correct. Let's see here. Brian in Alabama wants to know, how do you approach being aggressive in bed without scaring the girl? Hi, Brian.
What's going on, Jim?
How are you, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm 21 years old, and I just got out of like a serious relationship, and I've been listening.
Who are you with now? XM?
Do what?
Instead of serious, now you're dating XM.
Yeah, there you go.
You
Hilarious,
get it?
Jimmy.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hit the cough button?
Hold on. Did you say... did you get it? Perfect. That's how Chip will be handled. So, okay, so how long were you with the girl?
All right, so I'm just dating a bunch of women now, and I was with this girl for 2 years. And once we got out of the relationship, I started listening to the Black Phillip show, and then I started listening to Opie and Anthony, and hearing all your shit with Patrice, basically. And then so I learned basically that women want to be taken, like, you got to hoe them down, essentially, and you got to fucking just tell them what it is and let them know that they're less than us, because that's just the truth. And
I don't know if I would always... Patrice, you have to remember something about Patrice.
That's where it's going, no matter who it is. That's how it's fucking going. If I make them, when I'm too nice to a woman or whatever, it doesn't go like where I'd like it to go. And
it can feel like that sometimes. Yeah, no, I understand. It can feel like women just want me to be a dick. But I think you'll lose more women being a dick than you will being a nice guy. And you got to remember something about Patrice. He was not always right. You know, Patrice was a comic genius, and he really was brilliantly funny, but he wasn't always right about women. He had his issues with women where he struck out horribly and low self-esteem. And also Patrice was extremely funny and extremely charismatic and an extremely good talker. So it's a lot of times you can get away with stuff when you have a mind like Patrice O'Neill. That's harder for... Not just regular people, but an average non-comedian is not going to be able to pull off what Patrice could, because he could talk shit and be really funny with it, whereas a lot of times someone else could talk shit and not be particularly funny.
Exactly, yeah, for sure.
But what are you saying, man? How do you be aggressive without scaring?
Yeah, so like when I notice it the most is in bed, how we have to take charge as the man. That's just what it is, and whatever. Like it's our job to essentially bring whatever to the bedroom or push the boundary, that one extra step to keep going.
Yeah.
But I don't, because I'm just kind of frivolously meeting a bunch of women. I'm in college, so I'm having a great time. But I never know how much to push it, and then I'll find out I could have had sex with this girl like 3 weeks ago.
I've made that mistake too, where I'm not aggressive enough. Better to not be aggressive enough than to be too aggressive. Because once you do something that's like rapey or really scary, like I would rather feel like, oh, I could have fucked her than, oh my God, she fucked me because she was scared. Like you know what I mean? You're always better erring on the side of I missed out on it than I took it when I shouldn't have. And aggression with women, like, women like to be dominated and they like to have someone pin them down and fuck them. But they want to feel safe with you. Like, you have to know that the girl likes you, and she has to know that you're somebody she's enjoying sleeping with. You can't be with somebody who you don't know and just assume that no means yes. That's movie shit. Like, in the movies, the girl will go, I don't even like you. And he'll give her a big, deep kiss, and you go, and the passion will take over. And, oh, my God, she wanted to fuck him all along. That's the movies. In real life, when a girl says, I don't like you, and you grab her and you go for the deep kiss, she fucking slaps you and she's like, get the fuck off me. I gotta go home. So don't believe what you see in the movies. You're better off being a nice guy and missing out on a little. If you're gonna be dominant and pull hair and spank and bite, I love all that shit. But do it with somebody who you know wants it from you, who is comfortable with that, and you talk about it out of bed. Like, you don't do it right before, like you're going to fuck somebody. Like, okay, should I spank you now? Yes, swat me twice. Because that has the sex appeal of a fucking colonoscopy. You got to do it before, like when you're having dinner, you're just chatting. So what do you like and what do you like? And then you kind of know each other a little bit once you start.
All right, fair enough. Second question, real fast.
Sure.
When's the first time I should go to Brazil? I'm 21 years old.
I was, Opie and Anthony had been thrown off the radio. From now on, that's what I'm going to say. This is back in, at the end of 2002, Opie and Anthony were thrown off the radio. So I guess 2003 and 2004, I was kind of in a suicidal depression and really acting out sexually. So I went with Patrice O'Neal and Bobby Kelly and Keith Robinson and a few other guys. But I was, that's 13 years ago. I'm 46. I was about 33. So give yourself 10 years because it can be a little dangerous.
10 years, heard. All right, thanks for taking my call, Jim.
Bye, buddy. I just sniffled once without using the cough button. I apologize to Don Wickland and the management team there at Sirius for wasting what is probably $3,000 on the Rolls cough button. I will use it more now. Hi, Matt in New York. What do I think of taking comedy classes? Hi, Matt. Well, according to some people, I should be taking them. What's up, buddy?
Hey, man. How's it going?
Hey, Matt. Do you prefer Matt or Mattikins?
We'll go with the latter.
Okay. A ladder? What are you climbing in the window?
Fuck you, Chipper.
Fucking home run, Matt. Go ahead, buddy.
So, I was the guy who called in a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you get like thousands of calls or whatever. I called in a couple of weeks ago about like my first time on stage, talking about my dick for like 6 minutes or whatever. And I'm trying to find new places to play because that place, I don't know. I mean, not that there's going to be mad places that like really want to hear my dick jokes. But like, I don't know. So anyway, I emailed this guy Andy from the Gotham Comedy Club, and he immediately called me and was like, "Oh, I'd like to book you or whatever." Like he never even heard me, but he was like, "Oh, I'll book you," and it was all a little shady. And he was like, "Oh, so your first time? Oh, you were on stage once? Oh, cool. All right. So
you got to bring friends.
About taking comedy classes."
Oh, okay.
I was like, eh.
Well, if you live in New York, and I'm taking it you do if you called Gotham. Gotham's a good club, but you got to realize, like any club, they're motivated by self-interest and by money, and that's all clubs, and that's okay. I mean, that's what we do. It's we make money and we sell liquor for the clubs by performing and whatever. So their thing is, how can we make money off this guy? Now, and the reason I say that is because at first you have nothing to offer Gotham. Or any comedy club. It's not that you're shitty, but you're brand new. So what motivation would they have to put you on a stage that Seinfeld occasionally goes on, or Robert Klein goes on? It's that you can take a class from them, or you can do what they call a bringer show, and you can bring some friends who will buy drinks. So that's the advantage to you that you get to go on, and it's an advantage to the club that they get some people in the room. So I don't think comedy classes are bad. I don't think they're necessary. I think meaning you can make it without them, but I don't think they're going to hurt you to take them. I mean, if you're a funny person, you're a funny person.
Right. I don't know. It's just like, can you really, I guess like the question I have is like, can you really teach funny? I mean, like, you kind of like. I'm
sorry, go ahead. They're not teaching funny, but go ahead.
Yeah, my bad. No, I was just going to say, like, I don't know. I think like kind of figuring out what's not funny is sort of the thing that kind of makes most sense to me, and by figuring out, it's going on stage and realizing, oh shit, this joke is bombing, like, as opposed to like some dude going, by the way, that's not good, you should change that. Like, okay.
Well, I think a class, there's Gotham, there's a guy named Rick Chrome who's a friend of mine who teaches class at the Comedy Cellar. They teach him in a lot of clubs. I don't think that's what they are. I think that comedy classes, they're not going to say make you funny if you suck. But I think they will help you get an idea of what joke structure is. Like, they'll have you write down what you think is funny, and you'll go up and you'll just throw a bunch of shit out there. And they might go, well, look what you just did. You talked about your car, and then a minute later you talked about Obama, and then 2 minutes later you talked about your fucking transmission. Why don't you talk about the car and then the transmission? Because that's kind of in the same grouping, and it flows better, and then move it. Like, they may show you structural things that you can use for the 5 minutes you're doing, and then also it can become a habit or something you look for later on. Like they might teach you good habits. So if you walk up there and you're holding the mic in the wrong hand and you're talking into your fist, they might go, hey, hold the mic in the other hand. There you go, dummy. And then all of a sudden that's a lesson you use when you perform. Do you know what I'm saying? They don't necessarily teach you how to be funny, but they might teach you certain habits or certain tricks or certain thought ways of working out your thoughts that kind of increase your ability to be funny.
Okay. Hell yeah, that makes sense. I was just, not to play like devil's advocate, but like, don't you think that maybe just by like watching like either other comics fail or like, you know, or other comics do really well, that can kind of be like just as good without spending, you know, I think it was like, he was trying to get me to drop like $500 like right then and there. And I talked to him for 2 minutes. Like,
yeah, you might want to explore a little bit. I mean, I don't know Andy, unless it's Andy Engel, who I do know and I like, and I think he does a good job. He's been teaching comedy classes for a long, long time. Yeah, he did the Carolines for many years. And he tends to put together good shows. But before you make any kind of commitment to anybody or anything, why don't you go out and find a few open mics or do a few bringer shows where you got to bring friends, and they'll have to have a drink or two in a lot of these clubs, but you might not have to pay for a class. And then you can determine if you even want to pursue performing, and then maybe you can do it. All right?
Right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't know. And then afterwards, he kind of passive aggressively was like, oh, all right, fine. If you don't want to take the comedy class, I could just book you right now. I was like, oh, okay, Andy. Like, I don't know. I just got a weird feeling from it all. So,
well, he might not be able to just put you on. I mean, don't forget, it's a comedy club and you're an untested brand new comedian. And this is New York, man. There's a lot of guys fighting to get on. So I was 5 years into comedy, and I did a couple of bringer shows at the New York Comedy Club many years ago, like 94, 95, when I first started coming into New York from New Jersey. Maybe 93, but I mean, I did them. So, you know, there's a lot of things that we do that we don't love, but it's just a part of, you know, getting better and you know, and moving on. Actually, I did them earlier than that. I probably did them in 92, but still, I did them.
Right.
All right, buddy. I got a bunch of calls, but I appreciate it. And, you know, just give it a shot and see how it feels.
All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
Be good. Hello, Leah. And Lee in Cleveland had an emotional affair and doesn't know how to get over it. Hello.
Yeah, hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. So you had an emotional affair. Who'd you have it with? Like, not their name, but what's your relationship to them?
Right. Well, long story short, it was somebody online. Like, basically, I'm married. My husband doesn't like sleep with me as much as I would like. So I would like watch porn, whatever, and then it evolved into like talking to people anonymously online, just to kind of like flirt and whatever, and it accidentally turned into like kind of an emotional affair with somebody, and I told him the truth after a couple weeks and broke it off, but I'm like still really sad about it, and now I'm like filling the void by talking to more people online, and I need to stop, and I don't know what to do.
Right, it becomes addictive. That's why it's so hard. I talk about this almost every week, but man, like, again, in the 40s, it was so much different with a marriage because you had access only to X amount of people. But now you open up your phone or your laptop and you fucking have access to everyone. So it's really hard not to have emotional affairs. It's very difficult. You haven't met anybody yet, right?
No.
Eventually, here's what's going to happen. You're either going to meet somebody or you're going to come really close to meeting somebody and your husband's going to read your text or your email. With technological emotional cheating, there's always a written trace. So it's nowhere near as bad as regular cheating. You know, I'm telling you, I'm a man, and your husband may be pissed at this, but he would not be nearly as mad as he will be if you fuck somebody. Right. So you can just cut them off, Leah. If you don't want to do it, you can just stop doing it. They don't know where you live. They have no ability to ruin your life, and you didn't fuck anybody. So you could look at this like, you've really played with an idea that a lot of people have played with, but yet you have not made that final move. So you really do have a conscience.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to fuck anybody else. I don't want to cheat on my husband.
What do you like about the emotional? Why won't your husband fuck you?
Well, I don't know. He says he's tired. We have 2 kids, you know, whatever. But, like, I've talked to him about maybe getting his testosterone checked or something. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why.
Yeah, that happens, and you've talked to him about it, and he knows that you want to fuck more?
Oh, absolutely, he knows.
And is he willing to go for testosterone tests or stuff like that?
I don't know. We've talked about it, but I don't know how seriously he's taken it. I'm not sure.
Well, I would say, see if he's willing to go and do something. If he's willing to go and do something, then give him a little bit of time. But if he's not willing to go for tests and see what's up and give you some more dick, then just keep playing with your clit, talking to everyone else. Or ask him if, say, do you mind if I watch porn? Does he mind if you watch porn?
No, he does. I don't think he cares. I don't really tell him, but
he doesn't know you're watching porn?
Well, no, I don't tell him. And I mean, we've watched it together, so I don't think he would really care much. But I still it's kind of embarrassing, so I just don't tell him.
Oh, okay. Why are you embarrassed?
I don't know. I just think that's embarrassing that I'm laying in bed watching porn while he's at work or whatever. So
No. Do you work or no?
Do I work? Yes, I do.
Okay.
But we work different schedules. He works second shift, and I work first shift.
Yeah, that's difficult. It's hard to work in fuck time, too. Well, look, how do you get over it? Your question was, how do you get over it? Well, if you keep doing it, you're not going to get over it. So you either have to accept the fact that you just enjoy doing this and you're going to keep doing this, or you have to just stop doing it. I mean, it sounds like a stupid thing, but those are your choices. You're going to have to just stop doing it or realize you actually enjoy it a lot and are going to keep doing it. But it seems like you want to keep doing it.
I know, I never intended to do, the emotional part of it. I talked to this guy one day and thought that was going to be it, and then he just kept, texting me and stuff, and then we talked on the phone, and then, so when I finally, after a couple weeks, I was like, dude, I can't, do this anymore, but I still kind of wanted to talk to him, but he cut off all contact, and now I feel like I'm talking to people trying to find that connection I had with this guy, which is so stupid, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole to where now, like you said, then I have to meet somebody or whatever, take it one more step, and I just, so I don't know if I should, keep doing it or try to go back to porn
I would say go back.
My husband, I don't know.
I would say go back to porn, because going back to porn is not a form of emotional cheating. And he wouldn't be nearly as bothered if he found out about your porn watching. And, you don't have to worry about this shit. Because it's always just about killing the boredom. You seem like you're really bored. And a lot of times it's just about breaking up that monotony, which sucks. But, if you're feeling guilty about it and you're having issues with it, then just stop doing it. You haven't fucked anyone. So you can get out of it, out of this little dilemma before it even starts. All right?
Thank you so much, Jim. I love you.
All right. Good luck, dirty girl. Nice talking to you.
Bye.
Bye. Axel and Rockland. Fuck yeah. You want my opinion on your girlfriend living with her ex as a roommate? Hi, Axel.
Jimmy, how's it going, man?
Good, man. How long did she date him, and how long have they been broken up?
So she dated him for 3 years. It was very long. And they've been broken up for about a year now. And very early on in the relationship, she pretty much told me, she's like, hey, I live with my ex-boyfriend, but there's nothing there, And when I eventually, saw him when I went over to her apartment, the guy was, super nerdy, very frail-looking guy. So I wasn't really threatened by him.
Right.
But the thing that pissed me off was they were sleeping in the same room together. That was the arrangement. Because
and even though he's nerdy, she liked him enough to fuck him at one point. She dated him for how long? I'm sorry.
For 3 years.
How long you been with her?
9 months.
That's a weird. Why are they sleeping in the same room?
Well, it's a strange living arrangement because it's a 2-bedroom apartment, and all the apartments in the area are super expensive. So she got kind of forced into a strange situation because the guy said, "Hey, since we're going to the same school together, let's live together." And
when they broke up, or while they were together?
While they were together, and then they were stuck with the lease.
Yeah, that happens. Will she move out when the lease is up?
Yeah, well, she's gonna leave to another school soon, so she's gonna be out of there in a couple months. But I just found it to be the strangest arrangement ever. I mean, even though I'm not threatened by him, it's just still weird.
It is a little strange, but let me say this: that can at times work. My ex Jen and I are really good friends. I love Jen. And, we don't fuck when we see each other. If we live together, it might be a lot harder because I'd see her and, who knows. But especially if she's going to leave, how much longer do you think she'll have to be there with this nerd who probably has a much bigger cock than you think he does?
Probably a couple more months. So.
You can put up with it for that, bro. I mean, come on. If you really trust her and you think that they're not fucking and the relationship's done and she's stuck in a lease, then you just deal with it for a couple of months and let her stay at your house more often than not.
Yeah. I mean, the guy's super non-threatening. He's got Legos. He builds Legos and stuff, and he's 23. Isn't that cute?
Yes, it is. Yeah, I would just put up with it. Let her stay at your house more. That's all.
All righty. Thank you for taking my call, Jimmy.
All right, Axel. See you later.
Take it easy.
Yeah, say hi to Slash. John in New Jersey. I love when people say, what's my biggest challenge to keeping healthy and skinny? Hello, John.
How you doing?
Good, buddy. What's up?
Well, Jimmy, you've been an inspiration to me because I've been listening to you for a little bit now, a little over a year. Anyway, I've lost some weight. I'm a relatively big guy.
What did you go from what to what?
Well, my biggest was 420, and I have since like September, I've lost about 60 pounds.
Okay.
And I'm a little bit of a rut now because for about 3 weeks I've kind of like plateaued more or less. And it's kind of due to food. Around the holidays, I was kind of nervous about obviously eating and everything. And I was like, all right, if I could just get through the holidays and lose some weight, I think I'll be fine. But it seems to be that like every couple of weeks something comes up and there's just food around, and I was just kind of curious as to see your take on on how to handle it in your head.
The hardest part of weight loss is obviously the food. You cannot out-exercise eating badly. It's really hard, man. I mean, look, food is the hardest addiction. I think the food and sex, because you can't be abstinent, especially fucking food. So the fact is, there's all these little plateaus you hit. I hit one recently, too. The way to, I find, break through is definitely to maybe find out something I'm not eating right and eat a little bit better, because your body gets used to it. Or do a little something different in your workout. I don't know if you have a trainer, but that helps a lot. Or maybe talk to a nutritionist about what you should do. Like, okay, I want to just shock my body into working a little harder to lose the weight. That I'm not an expert on at all. But there are ways to break through the plateau, because I think everybody hits them. The important thing is, when these events come up, and I do fuck up, and I still do once in a while, not to beat myself over the head with a club, because that's just my sick fucking mind trying to get me to go back to where I was. Because there is that one part of me that likes being unhappy and likes feeling like a fat piece of shit. So you got to realize you've lost a lot of weight. You've already done something really good. So if you make the little mistakes, don't be a perfectionist and go, oh, fuck it, I'm right back. Fuck it. Just go, okay, dumbbell, you fucked up a little bit. Stop the bleeding right here. Just stop the bleeding. There's always going to be food. I eat out almost every night because I can't cook. I'm worthless in the kitchen. So there's always desserts I can order. But the reality is I'm going to regret it the next day. I'm going to feel awful about it. So I have to think it through sometimes. It's not worth it. I'm going to feel awful, so I don't do it. Sometimes you got to think through. Or eat something that's a good replacement. Like, instead of eating a piece of cake, have a piece of fruit. That's not as, it's not better than eating nothing, but it's a lot better than eating cake. Or like those Arctic Zero things I eat. I don't know, if they're as good as they say on the box or whatever, but they claim they're 150 calories for like a half pint. So I eat a few bites of those and it helps the craving. I don't eat a whole one. But a lot of times I'll want something, ice cream or something, and they're not as good as ice cream. But you know what? 5 or 6 spoonfuls of that, and I'm like, all right, I had something a little fucking sweet. That's good.
Serves your appetite.
It helps the appetite instead of starting with sugar or whatever. So I definitely, I get the food's a hard one, but just realize that that's your sick mind at times that wants to keep you fucked up. Because there is a pleasure in feeling like shit for us as compulsive idiots.
I hear it.
But keep it up, man, and just make sure you go to the gym. That's the best. That's the best thing to do, is make sure you're working out.
Yeah, I gotta hit the gym more. All right, Jimmy, you're the man.
Be good, man.
Thanks.
What's up, Pat? Your ex hangs out with a bunch of slutty girls, huh?
Oh yeah, man. I was wondering what your take on it. Do you think when a girl has a whole bunch of friends that are basically whores, do you think she's a whore too in the end?
I don't know. It depends on how long she's known them and what they do together. How long has she known these delightful gals?
I don't know, maybe 5, 6 years.
Where do they go together?
They go and do these they go to bars, and her friends are massive whores. They suck dick in alleys and shit like that.
Are you kidding? Or are you serious?
No, I'm dead serious. I'm not even making it up. There's this where I live, they call it Blowjob Alley.
Wow, what a great place to be.
It's it sounds better. Like she'd always tell me these stories of her friends. I'd be like, "Oh, hey, do you do it?" And she's like, "Oh, no, I never do it." But I was like, in the end, I'm like, "Ah, shit, maybe there's just shit that like girls just take to the grave. Like maybe she was in that alley doing the blowjob like shit."
Well, there are things girls take to the grave. But if she's got a boyfriend, she has you as a boyfriend. Maybe she's not.
Right.
Like, women don't always cheat because their friends do. I mean, just 'cause, you know, women are not going to be like, "Oh, my friend is sucking dick in the alley. I'm going to," because every time you hit on a group of girls, there's always that one who's a cock blocker. Maybe your girlfriend's the annoying cock blocker. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe the other ones are all troopers and fun, and your girlfriend's like the fucking killjoy. I got a boyfriend. You know, maybe she's that one. So.
Yeah, maybe, but yeah, no, like all my friends have been hooked up by her friends, so it's like, you know, it wasn't like a bad thing. But then I was like, we broke up, so then I was like, I wonder like if she's down there hanging out with her friends now, sucking dick in the alley.
Who knows, man? I mean, for your sake, I hope not. I mean, she's probably, she's your girlfriend, so I would say no. I mean, again,
no, we're not going out. We're not going out. I was. Just,
your ex? I don't know. Why do you even care?
Oh no, I was because like it was like because I listened to your show and I had a question in my head. I was like wondering what your take was on it. Like, do birds of the same feather flock together type of thing? Kind of. And I've always kind of just like because I don't care if she does or not. I was just kind of like, what is your take on it? Do you think that like birds of the same feather flock together like an?
I don't know. Sometime I would say, I mean, boys of a feather can flock together, but boys of a feather don't always flock together. Sometimes one boyd hangs out with a bunch of doity boyds. All right?
All right, buddy.
Good luck, man. Hey, Bishop in Chicago, 40 years old, you're 270 libs. You got some advice for the other guy about push and control.
I'm kind of in the same boat he was. You know, I'm 40 years old. I was pushing 265 pounds.
Oh, that must have been a sinking boat.
So I had the same problem with food. And what my trainer taught me was you just have to preempt it. The food's always going to be there, and you're going to eat that. It's just that we can control the amount. So when I knew I was going to like a party to watch football or whatever, that chicken wings, it's bad food, I would force myself to drink like a fiber shake or something to fill me up before I walked in the door.
Oh, right, yeah.
I started eating less and less and less and less, and I've taken off probably 45, 50 pounds of fat. And stuck with my trainer, and I'm in the best shape I've been in since I was 20. And it's just preempting. It's going to happen, but if you can preempt it a little bit, you get used to getting away from that bad food.
Great idea. A protein shake or a fiber shake or something like that to help with the cravings. Excellent idea. I know Big A, when he was going to Ants, was bringing his own little snacks with him.
Yep.
And you can do that too, just so you're eating a little something without eating the same shit that everybody else is eating. So good advice, Bishop.
Thanks.
Hi. All right, Ryan in Georgia, how can you get over the fear to get on stage for your first open mic? Hey.
Hello.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, wow. Holy shit. Biggest celebrity I ever talked to.
Oh, well. Yes, that's nice to hear. Who are you talking to at the moment, Ryan? Get back to me. I'm just joshing. Welcome aboard.
Yeah.
Well, that was uncomfortable. What's up, buddy?
I was wondering... Yeah, I just woke up. This is horrible timing. But I was wondering, as an 18-year-old, technically 18, we'll say, how do you overcome your fear of wanting to get up on stage, Like, how do you watch a comedian for so many years and then, sit and convince yourself, yeah, I'm funny, I can do that, and then actually go out and do it, How do you do that?
Comedians never convince you that you're funny. I was convinced I was funny by my friends and by the reactions I got from people. And the way to get over being afraid is to realize you're not going to get over being afraid. You're going to do it in spite of being afraid. You have to understand, I'm going to be scared doing this. The magic day where you're going to wake up and go, it feels right. Today's the day. That day will never come. You have to say, okay, no matter what day I choose, I'm going to be shitting a brick, and it might not go well, and there's going to be a risk, and there's no way to avoid those things. So you have to get yourself to walk through it despite those things. That's why so many people don't follow their dreams of performing or whatever it is, because they're waiting for that magic day. They're waiting for that day when the fear is not there, when they just know it's right. And that day is it's a pipe dream that day, because no one wakes up going, today I will not be afraid. You know, you lose fear. You don't get rid of it before the experience. You walk through the experience. You have enough of the same experience. And then you learn, oh, okay, the fear is, and I hate to say it like this, is a fucking boogeyman. The fear is just, you know, it's in me. The crowd doesn't even know you're scared unless you let them know. You know what I mean? Every performer is scared. Did I tell you, me and Dice were talking one night. A little man named Andrew Dice Clay, when I used to open for Dice. And we were backstage one time, and this is probably 1997 or 98, and this was in Vegas. And Dice is pacing a little bit, and I'm getting ready to go on as the opener. And Dice goes to me, do you still get nervous when you go on? Or he goes, or how do you feel? Are you nervous? Or something. I'm like, yeah, I'm a little nervous. I'm like, how do you feel? You nervous? And he goes, I'm terrified. And I laughed so hard because I was so not expecting Dice to say that. I'm terrified. But all of us get nervous. Johnny Carson said he got nervous every night before he walked out. But you learn to manage it. And it's a healthy thing, dude. It's not so over and all encompassing that you can't succeed. You know what I mean? Like, there's nights I go on that I'm not nervous. But you have to realize that when you feel it, you have to realize that it's going to keep you crisp and sharp too. It's not just going to shut you down. So go on, and you'll eventually lose a lot of that fear by doing it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And I know I sound like I'm contradicting myself, that by doing it, you lose the fear, and yet Dice and Johnny Carson were nervous. The fear becomes a very manageable thing. You know what I mean? I think if you totally lose it and you have zero fear, then you're going to get lazy. And then you're going to get just, too comfortable, and you're not going to perform well. So I think a little bit of fear is healthy, okay?
Yeah.
Be good, my friend. Good luck.
Thank you.
But don't let the fear stop you from trying it.
All right. Have a good day, Jim.
All right, buddy. You too. You have some advice for anyone with a low sex drive. What's up, Chris in Texas?
Hey, buddy. Yeah, I figured out an herbal solution, and most of that stuff is bullshit. But I, like a year ago, realized that I was completely sterile. Okay. And so I started looking into stuff like herbal things that could increase sperm count. And a lot of the herbal testosterone boosters also, they serve as like fertility enhancer. But I tried all of them, and I tried them for a long time. And the one I found, it was amazing. It works so well. If I take it for a couple of days, by the second day, I'm getting random boners throughout the day with like pre-cum dripping out and everything. And it even, you shoot huge loads and everything. It's called Tongkat Ali. Tongkatali.
I've never heard of it. Is it it's totally natural?
It's totally natural. There's no side effects, and there's a lot of research has been done that proving that it boosts testosterone. And it can be pretty expensive, but the one kind I found, and I have no stake in this company, there's one called TestoJack 100.
Where do you get this type of stuff?
You can get on Amazon. It's like $15 a bottle, and I don't know, it'll last you a few weeks or a month or something.
Can you buy it in the pharmacy or no?
Yeah, you can buy it. I've only ever found it at like natural like herbal stores and stuff like that. Like Whole Foods, I'm sure they have their own version of it.
Does it work better than Viagra or Cialis, from what you've heard?
I don't think it works as well as those. I mean, it's not going to give you a rod that lasts for hours, but it's pretty incredible. My wife took it too, and it helped her too because she has a real low sex drive, or she did, and it helped. Like it was amazing. She had to quit taking it because she got pregnant. But it's amazing. I recommend it to anybody. So yeah.
Okay, thank you, buddy. I mean, I've never heard of it, but you're saying it worked for you. So if anyone thinks that's a good idea, look it up online, and maybe it will help people. Thanks, bro.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, buddy. Wow, my new hero, Mike in New Jersey's on the phone. You recently fucked an older woman. She's 15 years older, and she just asked you to fuck her 18-year-old daughter?
Yes. Jim Norton, how you doing, bud?
Good, how are you?
Quite well. Yeah, man. Met her last weekend. I was out and about, hooked up with her, the mom, fucking smoking hot, hanging out and chatting. Next morning, cooked her breakfast. Her daughter comes in. Now, mind you, I didn't know she had kids. I'm not really into all the little, all the little details there. I'm just shook a bit, fucking plow, and then, bounce. And we're sitting there chatting. Their daughter comes down. I'm like, wow, she's definitely a little cutie, but you don't know how old she is or anything. And she's like, oh, she's turning 18 next month. She'll be going off to college soon and all that good stuff. And she started asking me all these questions. And then by second, I'm like, whoa, I just met you. And then she's like, oh, do you think you take my daughter's virginity? I'm like, what?
Well, now, is she testing you or no?
What's that?
Is she testing you just to see what you say?
Yeah, that's right. I wasn't sure if it was a test or she's serious. I think she's pretty serious about it, because she sent me a text the other day asking about it, and I was like, I would do it, but then you got that whole stage 5 clinger thing, and she's going to be on you because it'll be the first time, and all that.
Is the daughter hot?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What you want to do is this. Go out with the mom and daughter and flirt a little bit, or have the three of you sit there and have a drink in the house, and then see how you interact with the daughter. See, not that you're going to bang her in front of the mom, but see if the mom encourages her to be touchy or how she is. You might be able to get a threesome out of this.
Yeah. Definitely. It was just, the situation was so unreal. I'm like, I can't even fathom this right now. What are the odds of this? I'm obviously loving it, but it's just strange, though,
You got to wait till she's 18, but you got to take a shot at it. I'll tell you why. Because if you fail at this one, if it's wrong and it doesn't work, at least you went down swinging on a really great opportunity. This is like investing in Apple in 1974. You got to fucking take a shot, because let's say you don't do it. Look what you've lost. If you take a shot at fucking the mother and then the daughter, anybody would take that shot. It's worth blowing it with the mom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would say play your cards right. Don't be too anxious. Hang out with the two of them together and see what happens.
All right, cool. We'll do. I'll definitely keep you posted there. Thanks, Jimmy.
Please do, because I'm dying. I am dying to know what happened. All right, Patrick in Las Vegas. Hi, buddy.
How you doing, man?
Good. How are you? What's up? You're having a hard time with the religious aspects of 12-step programs.
Right, and I wanted to know what your activity is in 12-step.
Well, you mean the word God and the fact that the word God is used and certain principles that are from religion are used.
Exactly.
Well, that was always hard for me, because as a kid I was raised Catholic and I kind of resented it. A couple of things that helped me was that nobody told me I had to believe in anything. And also nobody told me that I had to use the word God as in a deity. People said God can be a non-deity, just something bigger than you. It can be a group of drunks. It can just be the room full of people. Just any kind of a power greater than me. Because alone, left to my own devices, I fucked up. So it was hard for me to rebel against that thinking, because they weren't telling me I had to believe in any kind of God. They weren't telling me I had to be a Jew or a Muslim or a Christian, or I had to, they weren't telling me any of that. Some of it, and also a lot of when this literature was written, dude, the country was different. It was in the 30s and the early 40s when, that was just the way people talked. And, people weren't as self-conscious about talking about God, or it wasn't as frowned upon. So there are certain holdover things that I think it becomes more tradition than anything. But the upside one...
I appreciate your answer, Jimmy, but I got another question for you. How involved are you with 12-step meetings?
Not as involved as I should be. I am involved, but not as involved. Do I still go? Absolutely. Not as involved as I should be.
Okay, because you don't really mention it too much. I appreciate your time, Jimmy.
Well, I talk about it in the abstract, and I never mention the specific places because they request that you don't. And that's why I don't say specifically where I go, or because those groups request anonymity. And it's funny how there's times when people will go it's a cult. Hey, it's a weird cult. But what kind of a cult asks you for no money? They ask for no personal information. You are required to do nothing. There's no requirements. You come and go as you please. If you say I never want to go again, you never go again. If you have a buck, you throw a buck in the fucking hat. If you don't, you don't. So cults always want something or demand something of you. The 12-step groups that I have seen do not. They're basically saying this is what works for us. And there's people saying that there's other things that work better. Hey, what about this? Then try those things. I'm all for it. Hey, man, if you think that there's some place you can go or whatever, promise whispers, whatever the fuck they're called, good luck to you, man. Knock yourself out.
Okay.
All right, but I that's how I've managed the religious aspect. But because you know me, you're
doing a great job, man.
Do I strike you as a really religious person? Like anybody that thinks the 12-step groups are going to make you a religious fanatic, look at me. Like, I'm not the best example of spirituality, so you can still have a fucking completely perverted and fun life and still be sober, okay?
That's why I like listening to you so much, Jimmy.
Be good, but you keep going. All right, Patrick, be good.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, Pumpkin, take care. Well, let's see, Maurice in Philly about to start a podcast. What should he avoid? What's up, Maurice?
Hey, Jim, what's going on with you?
Hi, buddy.
Let me just say it's an honor to fucking talk to you.
That's very nice, Maurice. Thank you.
I annoy my entire family with chip jokes all day.
That makes me really happy.
Yeah, like it's crazy.
You're good.
So I know you gotta go soon, so I'm gonna just get right to it. I just started this little like internet radio show out of Philadelphia, but I go through this company in California.
Okay.
So basically, I mean, as I was listening to the show, like I was thinking about, I'm like, damn, it really might not be a way for you to answer this question, but it's like, I just started and I'm trying to figure out what to avoid. You've been in the game for like, 10 plus years now. You know what I'm saying? What can you tell me?
What I would suggest avoiding, I had a huge advantage because I started in 2000, almost 15 years actually, with Opie and I have a cough button. I didn't use it. Sorry, folks. With Opie and Anthony. So I kind of went with the flow of what they were doing. And back then we had the FCC, so you had to avoid that. There are certain things that are going to sink you that you have to avoid. Like, if you're a cartoonist, you have to avoid drawing pictures of Muhammad because that's going to get you killed or that's going to ruin your career. On satellite radio now, there's certain things I don't say. It's just kind of, it's the Wild West, but there are certain things we don't say because they'll ruin us. And we know it, so we don't say them. If you're doing a live read, you avoid totally shitting on the sponsor in a serious tone because that will ruin you. So you have to avoid being self-destructive. That's what I would suggest to you to avoid. I don't know what the parameters are and what you're allowed to say when you perform.
Well,
but
hold on. I'll tell you. I can say literally whatever I want. Because like the company I go through, like I pay them to broadcast. So I only went with them because it's total like uncensorship. Because you know what I'm saying, I actually just started listening to you guys maybe like 2013ish, maybe a little before that with some Patrice stuff, and then like the tears from laughter from hearing Chip and Uncle Paul, just I gotta try this. Like
Thank you.
I gotta go into this. So I'm basically I'm saying like I went with them because I can say whatever I want. I can pretty much do whatever I want. It's just like being that I'm so new. I don't want to like I don't want to fuck it up. Like I don't want to what I'm saying. Like,
well, Maurice, what you might want to realize is that there's going to be fuck ups, and it's okay to have fuck ups in the medium that we're in, as long as you learn from them. And that sounds really corny, but like if you listen to the show, you do, and then go like, wow, that worked, or I was happy with that, but I wasn't happy with that. Try not to sound like you want to avoid sounding like anyone else. So just be yourself. Whatever that is. I mean, whoever you are, just be you. Sometimes it helps to have somebody on with you. Like today, Opie was sick. He said last night he might not make it in today because he legitimately is not feeling well. So I kind of said, all right, let me get Voss in. Let me have Sherrod in. And we knew we'd have Sam there. So you're prepared and you have guys you can bounce off of and talk to. So you might, again, I don't use the cough button. So you might want to try that. You might want to make sure you have a friend there. So if you run out of things to talk about, you have somebody you can bounce it off of. But my suggestion would be to avoid just being who you're not. Just be who you are.
Of course.
All right?
Of course. Sure.
Good luck, Maurice.
Thanks, Jim. I'm
Are you welcome,
buddy? On one day. Thanks
a lot, man. I appreciate the call.
All right.
Hi, buddy. Let's see. I said hi, buddy, as we're hanging up. Avoid that, Maurice. Maurice is gone, but this is a suggestion. When a caller is hanging up, don't go, hi, buddy, like the fucking rank amateur that I am. All right, Jack. No, I'm sorry, not Jack. Matt in Canada. Sorry. You have a question about professional integrity. You feel like you sold out with your current job. Hi, Matt. What do you do?
Hey, how's it going, Jimmy?
Good, buddy.
Good. So quick backstory. I busted my ass for 5 years getting an environmental science degree back home on the east side of Canada. moved out west. I got offered a job with the Alberta oil field out here. Doing fairly well financially, but feeling like a fucking sellout, man, for, wanting to go one way and help the environment and totally flip-flopping and doing the opposite. And just kind of wondering if you ever had to kind of compromise your own professional integrity to kind of climb the ladder to where you're at now.
It's weird, man. Like what you're talking about, and believe me, of course I know what you're getting at, Matt. When you say something like, if you're going from one field to a total another, like you want to help the environment and then you're working for an oil company, that might be something that is, I would have a hard time with that no matter how much money they offered me. But if you're talking about being in an environmental company and then doing another job that does help the environment, that's a different thing. So why did you go completely the opposite to like, you know what I mean? That would be like me going from radio to working for the FCC, regulating radio. I wouldn't be happy doing that. But I went from one radio job and now I'm in the radio show has changed. So why would you go all the way to another job that's totally the opposite of your field you want to be in?
Well, going through school for so many years, I was kind of burdened with a lot of student loan debt. So when you're fairly young and you have upwards of $60,000, $75,000 in debt, and somebody throws a job at you with X amount of dollars per year, I kind of wanted to just kind of clear up the dollars and cents before anything else. So I just sort of, without looking too far down the road at how it would kind of affect my personal integrity, I just kind of went for it. And like I say, it's the financial benefits great and all that, but going to sleep every night is kind of starting to weigh on me a little bit. So
what you got to do, I find, is this: like as far as personal integrity. As a stand-up, I've never compromised my personal integrity. I talk about whatever I want to talk about. On the radio, I talk about whatever I want to talk about. I mean, I make good money on the radio, and I like to make money. I'm 46 years old, and I'm in a business. Like, people forget that it is a job, and I like to make a living. But to me, the hardest compromise with radio was when Opie and Anthony were together, and we went back to regular radio and satellite. That was hard. And there was a lot more money at stake. There was a lot more fucking money. Like, I don't even know what those guys were making. But at that time, I think I was getting, and this is like 2007, I think I was getting something like $10,000 for each additional market and less for smaller markets. But there was a lot of extra money on the table for me. Opie and Anthony were pretty generous with me about that. And I still hated it. No one was happier than me when we got yanked off regular radio. I took a huge fucking financial hit, but I was so much happier being purely back on satellite. My draw was better in comedy clubs when we were on both, because as much as I love satellite and I love performing where we perform, regular radio has a much broader reach. You have accidental listeners. People just stumble on you and they're like, hey, I like these guys. Where's this guy going to perform? Like, you literally will draw almost 2 times as many people because people who are not necessarily fans land on the radio show. But that is the time I felt like I compromised my integrity, because I hated every fucking minute or 90% of being on regular radio. I felt like a fucking whore. I felt like we couldn't say what we wanted to say. I felt like our balls were cut off. We couldn't do any of the bits we used to do. And they were still blaming us for the ratings. So yeah, when we went back to regular radio, that was the hard part for me, integrity-wise.
Hey, what you're saying is kind of get your head out of my hat and get the dollar signs out of my assholes.
I cannot hear you, buddy. So what'd you say?
I was just saying, get the dollar signs out of my eyes and kind of focus on what I want to do.
Balance both. You got to make a living, so balance both. You should like what you do, though. You can't do something you hate. Look, when I talk about hating it, being on regular radio and satellite and balancing it like that beats not working. So yeah, of course I was going to do it. But if they told me, Jim, you got to do a Christian radio show, you can't talk about anything you want to talk about. You have to just do religious calls, and you have to take this angle. That's a different story. I would hate it, and I wouldn't do it. But yeah, thank you for the call, man. If you start out in the environmental field, working for an oil company has got to be a fucking huge jump. I got 3 minutes. So let's see. Bill in North Carolina, I'm not going to go to you. Your brother met a celebrity at a 12-step meeting. I'm not going to say his name, but I guess you're right. You never know who's going to be there. Let's see. Mike in Illinois, you found out your ex was cheating and you broke her window. How can you work on the jealousy? What's up, Mike? How are you?
Good, man. Thanks for taking my call, Jimmy.
Yeah, we only have 2 minutes. So you were with her and she was cheating?
So no. This was right after we broke up. And, but more to the point is that I've got this really intense jealousy bug. And so it was the root cause of our breakup. Needless to say, I got pissed when I saw some dude's truck in front of her house, busted out her window. Nothing happened. I mean, this was relatively recent, so I'm sure there's pending felonies and shit.
Right. What I would suggest...
I'm just asking... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
That's okay, buddy. Jealousy is insecurity. I had it for many, many years. We all get a little jealous. But I remember years ago, I would be obsessed. You know how I joke about loving cuckolding, and I like to know how big a girl's ex-boyfriend's dick was, and it turns me on to talk about her. Because what happens was, for so many years, I was so jealous. And it was a relationship ruiner. I would want to know how big the dick was, and if it was bigger than mine, I would make the girl say things that hurt me. I would make her somehow, I would paint her into a corner where she would be forced to say that the ex was better than me in bed, and better than me sexually, and had a bigger cock and was more satisfying. Because basically the jealousy, I was just using her to hurt myself. I was getting her to say things to hurt myself. So I was sabotaging the relationship. So realizing I'm doing that is a big part of not doing it. Like, it's important to realize I do something so stupid and self-destructive. And it really is just an insecurity. So one of the ways I worked on it was I started to make it dirty and pornographic and sexualize it. And that worked for me. That might not work for you. What might work for you is realizing why you do it and what it's really based in. It's not anything real. You're just using them to make yourself feel bad. That's all jealousy really is, okay? I got to wrap up, buddy. I'm sorry I couldn't give you a better answer.
No, I appreciate it.
All right, good luck. Sorry to Steve, Mike, Jack, and Scott, and anyone else we couldn't get to. Call back next week. I'll be here, unless, of course, I'm murdered. Have a great week, everybody, and thank you for the call.